Eom Business Network. So much for one broadcast.
Hello there, a very beautiful day to you, and thank you for joining us. You're watching the Eom Business Network, indeed the voice of corporate Nigeria. I am Olorogo Elkanah Moore. Today on the program, we shall be taking a look at the Nigerian economy from the viewpoint of industry operators. Also on the package, it's Let's Talk, and we shall be looking at Nord Automobiles Limited, a pioneering project of made in Nigeria automobiles. On Spot On, we shall bring you a stylish, highly experienced entrepreneurial expert and industry captain, Feishola Abiru, who is the founder and chief executive officer of H&Y Furniture Manufacturers Limited, one of the fastest growing furniture manufacturing firms in Nigeria. And on the face-to-face is a documentary with a quintessential gentleman, certified energy engineer, vision-driven entrepreneurial expert, and renowned industry captain, Dr. Raymond Sheyi Akintayo, who is the founder, group managing director, and chief executive officer of the Kabota Group Limited, one of the leading diversified group of companies in Africa. This is a must-watch. Stay with us. Oluwaseun Olaegbe is the managing director and chief executive officer of Skillsa Digital.
Skillsa Digital, the name has been a nickname coined from my, passion all over the years. Right from school days, I've always been a creative person. If I'm not, designing something, I'm writing poetry or, content. So I've always been a man with more, different interest in different crafts, and for that reason they call me Skills. So of course that's where we coined the name from, which is of course technical skills, technological skills, which is needed in today's economy. People need to acquire skills, and that's what Skillsa Digital Agency is all about. It's all about giving back our skill set to the development of brands and our partners. So that's how it came about. We've been around since 2019. We've been pushing through, we had to now brand ourselves and rebrand up around 2021, and then come out openly to start operating properly and with structure. Skillsa Digital was founded around the principles of outstanding customer service. Over the years, I've observed that some of the complaints clients have when it comes to working with IT professionals is usually their customer relations. How some of them have problems over the line. Client make payment and then they are not as enthusiastic as they should be. This has been major complaints around this sector, and that's what we wanted to fill. Skillsa Digital was founded around that principle based on, we understand that there are three principles to building a brand, and that's what I always tell my client: quality of your product, your customer relations, and advertisement, paid and organic advertisements. If any brand have those three basic principles, I believe the sky is always a stepping stone, and these are the principles we operate on, and that's what has kept us going with our clients.
Oluwatobi Ajayi, a young, astute, vision-driven, audacious entrepreneurial expert and industry captain, is the founder, chairman, and chief executive officer of Nord Automobiles Limited, also known as Nord Motion, one of the fastest growing automobile assembling companies in Nigeria.
I started in 2017, December. Before then, I've worked for Mercedes-Benz. I've also been an entrepreneur, and I worked at Mercedes-Benz. I grew very fast. I became the head of the van division. After that, I resigned to co-found a dealership of Mercedes-Benz. That was in 2015, and we were doing well until some things came up, and I just felt that Nigerians needed to have our own automotive company. I want to travel out of this country and go anywhere in the world and be able to say that Nigerians also make our own things. We make our own cars, we make our own computers, we make our own machines. You know, it's not just, I don't want us to be known for only the kind of music we play or the beautiful football we play or sports. I also want us to be known for things in science and technology. So, and that's why if people who are close to me notice that a lot of my decisions are very long term. They always wonder, because I want some of my decisions that I take today are things that might not materialize in 30 years time, and they wonder why you do it. And I say, it's not because of me. I'm doing this because I want Africans, I want Nigerians to walk out there and show the rest of the world that we can make our own things too. We can have our own economic sovereignty, we can have our own technological sovereignty. You know, so that's something that is very key for me, and I'll build it, and I hope that for the next 100, 200 years, it's still, and many more years, it's still succeeding, it's still surviving, it's still thriving. So the company started in 2017 with the aim to provide durable, reliable, and most importantly, affordable vehicles to Nigerians that are brand new. At that point, it was almost very normal, and still till now, for Nigerians, although we are solving the problem little by little, for Nigerians to buy used vehicles. We want a situation where if you're a decent person working very hard, you know, you should be able to afford a brand new vehicle. That's our goal. And of course, for it to happen, like I said earlier, it has to be durable, it has to be elegant, it has to be reliable, and it has to be affordable also. So we started in 2017, it's been going well, and we've been growing very well, tremendously year on year. And I'm happy with where we are, and I'm happy for the future. Our vision is very simple. It says to grow efficiently together with the community, the society, and this country. So basically to grow together efficiently. And how do you, via mobility solutions. So, and how do we do that? We will do that by providing, like I mentioned earlier, reliable, durable, elegant. Nigerians love elegant things. Elegant and most importantly, affordable vehicles to Nigerians. So that's the way we're going to do it.
Ishola Abiru, a stylish, highly experienced, accomplished entrepreneurial expert and industry captain, is the founder and chief executive officer of H&Y Furniture Manufacturers Limited, one of the frontline furniture manufacturing firms in Nigeria.
H&Y, formerly Home and Dew, started about 30 years ago, and it is more of a passion that evolved to become a business. Back in the day, all I had, the real origin, was my car. My car was called Moto the Shop. For those who understand Yoruba, that is, my car was my shop, because in my car I had my receipts, my catalogs, my this, my everything. If I wanted to, if anyone called on me, I could get my business started and finished there and then. When I got married about 30 years ago, we needed to set up home. We had limited resources. I have an eye for beautiful things, and I was compelled to work with local artisans, what you sometimes call roadside carpenter. It was interesting and challenging, but we got there eventually. I had my catalogs and my ideas, how I wanted my space to look. And at the end of the day, I was actually pleasantly surprised, because I then realized that these men were really, really skillful and very good at what, they did. I probably underestimated what I achieved, because but when friends and family visited, they were more impressed, and they actually really liked it. And people were actually happy and willing to part with their money to have me do up their homes and spaces. And that was how the business started. Actually, we were going happily until a lot of, maybe some elements of indiscipline, inconsistency started cropping up. They weren't able to deliver on time in some cases, and so I felt I needed to own my production. Luckily, my parents had a property in Ogba that was idle, and they were happy to let me make use of it. So I was able to set up a cottage workshop. I got some hand tools and made use of maybe the sawmill that was close by, and invited some contract carpenters to work in the workshop. It was fine. It was much better than I had better control, but we weren't there yet. I needed to improve my, we were getting more orders, and the hand tools were not sufficient. So I expressed my concerns to my husband, and he said to me that perhaps I should approach the Bank of Industry to to assist me in financing, getting bigger machines rather than going to the sawmill. I approached the Bank of Industry, and they gave me the long list of, well, that had its own advantages. It was quite painful at that time, because I looked at the list and I was like, how was I going to be able to surmount this hurdle? And my husband again suggested to me, perhaps I should attend a business school. And I attended the Lagos Business School. And during the course of the program, I realized that the requirements were not actually to attack me. They were actually meant to support me, because then I needed to put my accounts in order. I needed to sort out my taxes. I needed to set up a board, and I needed to set up a management team. And it took me 3 years, but we eventually got there, and I was able to access the facility. We got the manual machines big. Our production improved definitely, and we were able to run happily for about 10 years. And thereafter, again, because we had the market was responding positively to us, so we were growing, and we realized that we had another set of challenges, and that was we weren't able to deliver consistent outputs, because the machines we had were manual machines. So there were slight variations, slight inconsistencies. To the naked eye, it wasn't obvious, but to mine and maybe my team members, we felt that we could, and we kept trying and trying. And During, I had to conduct some research, and I then realized that there were actually semi-automated machines out there that could deliver consistent output on time too. People with mass projects were beginning to approach us, so we just felt we needed to procure, we needed those machines. They were big, the cost seemed, but again, we went back to our friends, the Bank of Industry, and luckily this time around it was it was much faster than before, and within a very short time, because we had everything in place, we were able to access. And we also felt our cottage factory then in Ogba was, we had outgrown it, and we had started, all the while our business was growing, we were building purpose fit factory. We got the land in Ikorodu, and we started building. So luckily, by the time our machines came in, our building was also ready. So that way we had our world-class, state-of-the-art, if I must say so myself, furniture factory in Ikorodu.
Welcome to the Kabota Group Limited. The Kabota Group Limited is a holding company that engage in multi-sectorial business activities and services delivery through its subsidiaries, which include Kabota Energy Services Limited, Kabota Property Management Limited, Kabota Logistics Limited, and Kabota Investment Limited, and more. The company is a world-class diversified conglomerate with interest in energy services, real estate, logistics, power, and investments, amongst others. The Kabota Group Limited, however, started as Kabota Energy Services Limited, which was incorporated on the 22nd of November 2012 as a global standard renewable and fossil fuel energy firm, providing broad-based professional services in various fields of energy services, with focus on consultancy services, construction, procurement, installation, through to maintenance of equipment and services in solar power, gas turbine, waste to energy, wind turbine, and ethanol fuel, and more. Dr. Raymond Sheyi Akintayo, a quintessential gentleman, certified energy engineer, philanthropist, vision-driven entrepreneurial expert, and renowned industry captain, is the founder, group managing director, and chief executive officer of the Kabota Group Limited.
Kabota Group Limited is a product of vision, and it's a product of dedication of some group of men, credible men, men of integrity, and men of purpose. So the first entity that came up is Kabota Energy Services. So we started from the energy angle, and when we had our breakthrough, we had our success in that, we felt like in this environment you have to be multifaceted, you have to divert, you have to do, and these are men which are renowned in their own industry. A renowned logistics person that has had over 15-20 years experience in logistics business should not just tell us that he cannot do a logistics business unfiltered. A renowned property manager, a renowned investment manager. No, so me, I'm an energy expert. I have a background in energy, so energy, power infrastructure, and all that. So we feel like we have to set up all this for them to oversee and for us to have multiple streams of income, because that is a major strategy in sustaining. So first, we find success in energy, we find success in power. We need to move to other areas to be able to get ourselves balanced. So if there's any issue on one side, we can't use the other to cover up and we stay afloat. So Kabota Energy Services started. We came up with Kabota Group and we registered under it. And the aspect of the group, the idea of the group came because we also want to be conservative in terms of management, in terms of accounting, in terms of administration. We don't want all these entities to have their own separate, because it will become a kind of multiplicity of activities. So the only accounting department, group accounts, group administration, is the central. So we only have the operations for all these areas to do. So in that way, we are able to effectively manage resources to achieve greater purpose. So it's an holding company, and there are some other special businesses that may come up, transactions which we feel like, okay, fine, the Kabota Group itself should handle, because it's also a limited liability company. So that's how it came up.
The company, which is equipped with a team of seasoned, highly experienced experts and well-trained young professionals, is built on simple and clear corporate vision and mission.
The vision and mission of Kabota Group encapsulates all the subsidiaries. Like I said earlier, we want to be a reference point in any area we find ourselves. So Kabota Group and the subsidiary, the entire vision is we want to be a world-class energy company, a world-class holding company, a world-class logistics company, just a world-class and a reference point in that sector. So that's the vision. In any sector we find ourselves, we want to be a reference point. Even in holding of subsidiaries, Kabota Group has to be a reference point. So that's the vision. Then our mission, we need to achieve these objectives by ensuring that we are sincere to our clients, to our customers, and also anything we do, we put our environment into consideration. Environment in terms of what are we doing back to the environment? Do you have a CSR you are doing? Are you helping? Do you have a welfare pulse? No, it's not all about you alone. Because if God has helped you to move far, you need to understand that you need to give out to people that are less. So that is also part of our vision and our mission to attain our vision.
The Kabota Group Limited is driven by the philosophy of focusing on creating value through its bespoke management strategy that prioritizes value creation, knowledge processes, skills, reward, and ensuring that the right talents are rightly engaged with the right authority to make decisions. Expectedly, the company, which is strategically positioned to deploy global best practices in its deliverables, currently enjoys very impressive response from its esteemed clients. Nonetheless, it is open to all interested markets.
The areas we play, they are more or less like the critical key sectors. We're talking of energy. Energy is key to life because light is life. We're talking of power, the same thing. You need infrastructure to bring energy, equipment and all that. So if you're talking of logistics, you need to move products around. That is commerce. So we are also key there. If you're talking of property, we need shelter, we need to lay our heads somewhere, we need office, we need all business. We need to acquire wealth, and we can do that. A very terrible means of acquiring wealth is property. So you see us there. The investment is another very terrible means of acquiring wealth or storing wealth. So we are very much in areas where are key to life and even the essence of life on itself. So we need people in these areas to work with. We are providing services. So, and the group itself, we are into processing, we are into specialized businesses. So we need people in this area, and these are the people we are looking at. These are the people that should be for us.
As a relatively young, passionate, and accomplished serial entrepreneur, Dr. Raymond Sheyi Akintayo is a role model to young and aspiring entrepreneurs.
Career pursuit at a tender age, when at your formative age, when you are getting out of school or you are trying to be in school, you need to identify what you need to do. You need to choose a career and you need to stay focused, because anything in life is focused. There's time for everything. There's a time you need to choose a career and stay focused. If you are unfocused, you are jumping from one another. They say a rolling stone gathers no moss. So you jump from one to the other, you may not be able to pick a particular career where you are going to be yourself on. And if you refuse to be yourself on a career, you're jumping from one career to the other. It gets to a point when you will not have the strength to be able to be to that transforms to frustration. So you become frustrated, and while looking back, you see your mates or your age mates that have chosen a career path, they are growing on it.
The Kabota Group Limited is under the captainship of an audacious management expert. Indeed, he is a round peg in a round hole.
I'm an individual, a Nigerian from South in Osun State, Obokun local government. I grew up in Osogbo. I had my higher education outside the state, mostly in Niger State, and from there I moved into Lagos to start my career development. My background, I'm a chemical engineer, so I have my second degree in process and equipment design, and also have my doctorate in, because I'm going towards business, I have my doctorate in information and strategic management. Mostly I started my career development in Nigeria, in project development in renewable energy, also in fossil fuel development, gas to power and all that. So I've worked with a couple of entities, I've consulted for a couple of companies before the opportunity came to stand on my own. And a couple of like minds, we were able to come together to look at this from a very robust corporate perspective to grow this company to become a full-fledged global entity. And we are in the process, and God will help us. I'm married, I have 2 kids, and we are doing fine.
The story continues.
Are you going to build flats, or are you going to build office spaces?
Very, very sure and very stable in-house before we go to that extent.
I mentioned some top global manufacturers in the world.
And they were looking, no water.
And that's a good point to call it a wrap on today's package of the EOM Business Network. Thank you very much for spending your valued time with us. We hope it was worth your while. But just in case you missed out on any aspect of it, then you can come with us to any of our other portals, as you can see on the screen. Our sincere gratitude to you, our sponsors, for your continued interest and support. Always remember, with you and us, we are champs. Oh yes, I remain Olorogo Elkanah Moare. Please, let's do this again, same time, same channel next week. We'll see you then.